Good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning. I just took the kids to school, and we've got it's Jay Baker, by the way. We're in Seattle, Washington. We've got the last day of our 5 books in 5 days. 5 books a day in 5 days. 5 and 5. I've cheated a little bit. I think I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I've got like 9 books, but the reason is that some of them kind of count as one because they're tied in, and I think one is really tiny. So let's get started. These are some books that have influenced my life and my work that I've shared this week in no particular order. I mean, the interesting thing about doing this has been how many that I've left out. And I never thought I would have read this much in my whole life when I was 20 and when I was a teenager and had dyslexia and really struggled with reading and writing. But, you know, I just fell in love with reading and learning. And so I'm glad I can kind of share this with you. And this is what a lot of my work is studying. And so I can share that with you. So the first book I wanted to share with you is another one from my friend, my good buddy, Peter Rollins. And I think it's about his when he went to his visit to Washington a few years ago, and it's called Insurrection. No, I'm just kidding. It's not about his visit to Washington. It says to believe is human and to doubt is divine. I've read this book. I can't give you a full back. I've got the actually advanced uncorrected proof that I'm pretty sure I stole from him. But this is another incredible book. I think this is the last book I read by Pete. And everything Pete writes is really, I could just give you a recommendation. Just get Pete Rollins' books. They're really incredible. Follow him here on Instagram. You know, I mean, he's a great guy, and I want to promote his work. He's always promoting my stuff. So yeah, check this out. So here we go. Another one is... talked about this, Paul Tillich, Shaking the Foundations. This is like one of 3 of his sermon books, and I was trying to see, and that was how I was counting these books, is the other sermon books are right here in this collection. This is how I'm counting this as one, is the Eternal Now and the New Being. This collection of Tillich books are irreplaceable. I mean, they help me so much with my work and my talks. And really, Paul Tillich was such an amazing philosopher and theologian. And if you've ever read his systematic theology, it's really tough and really hard to read. Even his most popular book, The Courage to Be, is not an easy read. But these are really a great way to get to know Paul Tillich and get to understand his work and just some of the greatest talks. I think in this book, You Are Accepted is probably the greatest talk on grace I've ever heard in my life. And so I can't recommend these books more. So check these out. Like I said, I think they've been reprinted, but you can find them on eBay really easy. I get a lot of these on eBay. I probably have like 10 copies of this book because I bought it so many times, and I mark it up, and then I want to mark it up in different ways. And a few copies, different copies of these, they're falling apart. But I do recommend these collection of Paul Tillich's sermons over the years that he gave at many different, like Union Seminary in New York and all that stuff. So there you go. The next book I want to recommend is a really tiny book. And all it is it's Dr. King's letter from a Birmingham jail. I honestly think that this belongs in the biblical canon. We could take out the Pastoral Epistles and we have plenty of room. Just slip it right in there. That'll make more sense in a second. But yeah, this is a really, really great speech. It covers everything, and do yourself a favor and read this. I mean, it's available in other books. You can also just Google it online and find it and read it. And it's just one of the greatest letters I've ever written. I've actually been to the cell where this was written in Birmingham. But anyway, so check this out. The next book I have really inspired me when we were in Brooklyn, New York. And, the garbage man's here. I can hear him. really inspired me in New York, and big time. It's also another human being that's really inspired me a lot, and that's Brian McLaren and his book, A New Kind of Christianity, which is a playoff of the 3 books he did, A New Kind of Christian, and he did like 3 of those, and those are really big in, I think, the late 90s, early 2000s. I remember all these Christians were passing these books around like they were like these secret writings that they weren't supposed to have. And in a way, it was him saying things have got to change in Christianity. The church has got to change. And was really made a big impact on a lot of people's lives. And this book especially just really meant it so much so that I wrote 96 on it. And I was thinking as the theses of the 95 theses, and I well, maybe we could add this to that, because I feel like this is a book that could be part of a reformation in the church today. And so really encouraged me and influenced my work, especially in Brooklyn. All right, here's the are you guys ready for some controversial books? This is a biblical scholar that I like a lot, that a lot of my biblical friends, Bible friends, and Christian friends push back on me, but oh well. It's a book called Forged by Bart Ehrman. And, you know, Bart Ehrman, a lot of people think, oh, he must be out to get Christianity. I just think he's a scholar, and, you know, he can be a little provocative. I think that's a little bit of his trying to sell himself as a provocateur. But he's just a really good biblical scholar. And the thing about this book is it led me to a lot of other books, and I researched his research. And that's what you can do with scholars. And that's really great, because when they give you links to the research, you can even learn more. And you can check their work. And that leads me to this book, The Problem with the Pastoral Epistles. This is another great book. It's by P.N. Harrison. I got this offline, but I actually have an original copy of the book that's about 100 years old. And this talks about why the Pastoral Epistles are forgeries, and really trying to maybe undo the work of Paul more than help Paul. And that's a hard reality for a lot of people to face in the Bible, but it's very important for us to study and look into this stuff. You think we want to know the religious book, which the Bible is, if I'm honest with you, it's not actually even a book. It's just a collection of writings and letters put together in book form, but that's for another day. So last but not least is another book that I just thought was vital for us, especially in these days with cancel culture and all that kind of stuff, and how much we spend all our time online. And that is John Ronson's book right here, So You've Been Publicly Shamed. I read this years ago, and it really just moved me. I think one of the reasons I really connected with this book is because growing up a baker, growing up when your family is in scandal and living through scandal and going through all that and being publicly shamed, you feel that. And I love how John is always kind of turning and saying, like, well, how can we empathize with people who we've shamed? How can we emphasize people that we've somehow mocked or made fun of or made the enemy? And let's take a second look. Maybe this isn't the way. And John Ronson has done that with this book. I hope he'll do another book that says So You've Been Canceled. I think that would be an interesting one as well. But this is a great book, so please check this out. It's really incredible. So I've had a lot of fun sharing with you guys these books that have impacted my life. I might have to do some more down the road. I probably will. Definitely some honorable mentions. I've written books. My families have written books, and there's a lot about my family if you're interested. But right now, those are my collection of books for this week's investment. And what someone asked me, hey Jay, what books would you recommend? So there's some book recommendations. Give them a read. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're ordering any or if you're getting any, and keep me posted. And you can recommend your own books right here in the comments. Love to hear what you're reading, or maybe why you don't like one of those books, or why you think one of those writers' books has another book that's even better. You know, it's how we grow and learn. So let's do that together. Thanks a lot, and thank you all for the support of Revolution. We really can't do this work without you, and you can help support us at revolutionchurch.com, or just by sharing our content with others, or liking and subscribing on our YouTube channel. All that kind of stuff really helps. Just even liking posts helps. So thanks so much, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.